this week, I normally discuss different indictments that's been issued for the week. But this week, I do have a few indictments that I want to share with you all, but I want to discuss what just happened on Friday. A press release was issued Friday, letting the people know what the government is about to do with these PPP loans and the EIDL loans. Everybody and their grandma got this PPP loan, okay? And it's about to be some real sad households in a few months, maybe a few weeks. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to start rating. I'm going to share with you all a press release that was released by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. So people who had never had a business, all of a sudden during COVID, they had a Fortune 500 business, a Fortune 500 corporation with 100 employees that they had on payroll, and they was paying out all this money. Somehow the little $20,000 turned into 100, 500, millions. Like, people were really making a big come up off of these PPP and EIDL loans. The government is now saying, run it back. Okay, we broke, we want our money. You knew you didn't qualify for it. Just because you got it don't mean you were supposed to get it. So over 560,000 borrowers that got that money, $22 billion, billion. And now the government is coming back for it. So if you owe, they're coming. If it was fraud, then they're probably building the case against you. I'm just going to be honest and let you know what's going on. So if you thought the PPP and the EIDL was over, it's not over. The enforcement is just starting to really, really begin. Now, I know you've been seeing in the headlines where people here and there in little small doses have been prosecuted and sentenced for the PPP loan. Well, now you are about to see a whole lot of people because over 500,000 people were referred for collections and investigation. They just released this information on Friday. If you are new here, hello, my name is Melinda Tolbert. I like to talk about fraud cases and indictment. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about what the SBA just released on Friday. So over 562,000 loans that were tied and it was suspected to be fraud, they were sent to the Department of Treasury for collections. That's over $22.2 billion that was sent to Treasury for collections. I told you the government is broke. They doing broke people shit. They doing what broke people do. When you owe broke people money, they go out and they collect. And that's what's happening right now. But not only were those applications referred for collection, others were referred for fraud as well. So, and the press release that was issued on Friday, it said that this is the largest referral that they've ever made in history. So the cases that have also been sent to the Department of Justice means that this is no longer about give me my money back. They are about to prosecute as well. So, and another thing that I read in the press release is these are, number one, these are not new loans. And these loans were already flagged in the past. But somehow, supposedly, the Biden administration protected these loans and these applications that were not supposed to be approved. I don't know how that happened, but that's what the press release said. So now that Trump has, his administration has created this fraud task force, now they're going after these people now. So for years, these people had not been sent to collection. They were not referred for investigation, which means hundreds of thousands of borrowers had not been flagged yet, but now they are flagged and shit is about to go down. So if you know that you were in the mix of all this PPP fraud, I highly recommend that you get an attorney. So the PPP, for people that don't know, the PPP, and there were so many funny names what PPP meant. Some people were saying penitentiary, prison, and probation. There were all kind of crazy names, but the real meaning for PPP was the Paycheck Protection Program. It was designed to help real businesses keep their employees paid. So if the funds were used properly, and when I say if the funds were used properly, that means that this money that you received as a business owner, it was supposed to have been used towards your payroll, your rent, and your operating expenses for your business. This money was not supposed to be used for BBLs, for Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Prada, Dolce Gabbana, expensive yacht rides. Like this money was not for that. Okay. So if you use the money properly, then the money was forgiven, which is going to be another issue, because even if you were a real business owner and you can't prove that you use those funds properly, then you're going to have to pay it back as well. And I guess that's what made it appealing, because people knew that you didn't have to pay the money back. I don't know if it was that or if it was just because of how easy it was for people to get approved, but everybody and their mama got $20,000. And another thing I want to touch on is real business. Some people had a real business, but in order to qualify for the full $20,000, you had to have made at least $100,000. So if you put on that application that you made $100,000, but your tax return says that your business took a loss, you got to answer to them, and you're going to have to pay that money back. And that's a badge of fraud. And we'll talk about badges of fraud today, but I'm just letting you know that that's a badge of fraud. Okay. So the EIDL was a little different from the PPP loan. That was actually a disaster loan. It was supposed to provide working capital for businesses. The difference was the EIDL, you were supposed to pay that back. So you had one program that was forgiven, and the other program that functioned as a traditional loan that you were supposed to pay back. And some people said, I got that money. They haven't reached out to me. They haven't knocked on my door. They haven't sent me any letters. I'm talking about the EIDL loan. So people just ignored it. People didn't pay it back. Now, between the two programs, in the press release, it stated that the government distributed about $1.2 trillion. Yes. And according to the SBA Inspector General, at least 200 billion may have been fraudulent. So those are the applications that they're looking into. And some of those that they think were fraudulent probably weren't, but you got to show them, you have to prove to them that your application was not fraudulent. And how you going to do that if it was fraudulent? I don't know, because it's a paper trail and it's going to be hard to prove. Let's talk about where all this went wrong. So in many cases, applications contain inaccurate information. Like I was just saying, the amount of gross that people were putting on their application was not true. People overstated their income. The employees that were listed didn't exist. So if you put that you had 100 employees on payroll and you can't prove that, you ain't paid no payroll taxes, you ain't submitting no 941s, you got to answer to the government about that. And if you did do it just to get this money, that's fraud. You signed under penalty of perjury. That's fraud too. Some businesses had no actual operations at all. They just out of the blue, all of a sudden own a Fortune 500 company. In other cases, people applied for the loan without fully understanding the requirements. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when the loan first came out, I wanted no parts of it, because for me, it was just too easy. And I kind of felt like, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want to have nothing to do with that. But I really did qualify. Not for the first one, though. I did not qualify for the first one because on the first one, you had to have employees. So even if you were a real business owner, but you didn't have any employees on payroll, you did not qualify for that first loan. Now, the second loan, people like me did qualify for it. But again, in order to receive the full $20,000, because I didn't even receive the full $20,000. I think I got like $12,000 and something dollars because it was based on the gross amount of money that you reported on your tax return. So if you were a real business owner and you put on the PPP loan application that you gross $100,000, but when Uncle Sam pulled that tax return and you reported a loss on your tax return, that's fraud. Okay, I want y'all to understand how it works. I'm just the messenger. I don't make the rules. I just deliver. I just deliver the news. Okay. All right. So, from an enforcement standpoint, if the information was false, that's what the government is looking at. So the government is now reviewing most of these cases. The 562,000 that they just referred, some stuff is about to go down. So they are matching applications against tax filings, and they are analyzing your bank records. The government does not need your approval to access your bank records. Okay, please understand that. They don't have to send you a letter in the mail and say, hey, can I get access to your bank records? That ain't how that shit go. When you are under investigation, baby, the government got access to anything, including your bank records. So right now they are verifying whether businesses were actually legitimate and where the inconsistencies are found in those supposedly legitimate businesses. Then they're going to move forward. First, they're going to send you to collections. And if necessary, then they're going to move forward with prosecution. So I hope you all will not be on the prosecution side. But if you know you received a lot of money that you were not supposed to receive, please get an attorney. Another thing I wanted to share with you all is the statute of limitations, because some people don't understand that the statute of limitations was extended. So in 2022, the statute of limitations for the PPP and the EIDL was extended from 5 years to 10 years. Okay. So if your loan was issued in 2020, the government has until 2030 to bring charges. Please understand that. What happens next? For the borrowers that are involved, the immediate step is collection. So if you get a demand notice to pay in the mail, that means that you are in collections. That can also include wage garnishments. So people that got this PPP loan, if you have a really good job now, or if you have a real business right now, they can start garnishments. If you ignore that demand for payment letter, they can start bank levies, meaning that they can freeze your bank account and take your coins that's out of your bank account, even if it has nothing to do with PPP or EIDL money. You owe them, folks. So please do not ignore them, because they're going to start enforcement action. And if fraud is confirmed after they do their investigations, those cases is going to escalate. It's going to escalate. You're probably going to start receiving civil penalties and or criminal charges. It depends on the facts of the case. Bigger picture. So what we're seeing right now is the government is moving from distribution to enforcement. Okay. The funds that went out really quickly, now they are taking their time to review those loans, and they're going to recover what should not have been issued from the start. And y'all know when the government starts trying to recover and collect by any means necessary, they will recover and collect their money. So if you receive funds, if you receive those funds, that does not mean that you were entitled to them. For tax professionals, if you submitted these applications, you got to be able to prove why these people were approved. Now, when the PPP era was in, I was preparing taxes back then. And a lot of my clients got upset with me because I would not submit those PPP loan applications. They didn't have no damn business. Oh, listen, y'all already know. If you've been following me, you know when it comes to fraud, I don't fuck around. I do not play around with fraud. Okay, I'm a lowercase g when it comes to fraud, and anything dealing with the government. I want no parts of it. I'll fight for my clients, but doing it for myself, baby, you can count me out. I want no parts of it. Another thing that I wanted to share for the people that were promoters. Now, promoters are the people that were going around from neighborhood to neighborhood telling people, I can get you $20,000. You got to give me a portion. So some people was getting a percentage of the $20,000 or however much, because honey, they graduated real fast from them little fucking $20,000. They graduated to 200, 500 millions of dollars, and they were getting a percentage or sometimes half of whoever name they put the loan in. They were getting a percentage of that. If you are a promoter and you think just because your name is not on that application, you think you scot-free, baby, I'm here to tell you now that internet has digital footprints. If you don't know what an IP address is, I encourage you to go and do some research on the IP address. The Department of Justice, I have sat in meetings with the Department of Justice that have told tax preparers and taxpayers how many fraudulent PPP loans they submitted, how many were rejected, how many were denied, how many they got deposited into their bank account. They can even tell you where you were when you submitted those applications. So don't think because you were a ghost preparer or a ghost promoter that they not coming after you. So the person who named the loan was in, they gonna snitch on you. And when one person starts snitching, everybody gonna start snitching on you, and they're gonna come after you too. So y'all better get together and y'all better get y'all shit right, okay? Because I just hate to see what's coming. People that I'm close to were asking me to do the application for them, and I refused. I'm like, nah, that shit is not worth it. Like it is not that easy, and it's a paper trail. Like you getting this money deposited into your bank account, and you think you're gonna get away with it. Even if you do get away with it for a limited amount of time, like some people have gotten away with it for a limited amount of time, some people probably will slip through the cracks. But who wants to live their life like that? Like you got to worry about your wages being garnished. You got to worry about losing your good ass job that you done worked your ass off for because of a little funky $20,000 that you probably ran through just like that. It's not worth it at all. People thought I was being bougie or didn't want to help them. No, I didn't want to help you hurt yourself. That's why I told y'all ass not to get those damn loans. It was too easy. Anytime money is that easy to get, some shit ding in some kind of light bulb should pop on in your mind. I don't know what it is about this new era. These new scamming, this new scamming generation, but the generation under us, like I'm about to be 45. The people from between 30 and 40, a lot of people in that generation has turned into, they have a whole career in fraud and scamming. And I don't know where they get that shit from. I see people that I know being sentenced for doing fraud and scamming. They're not even about that life. Like some of these people wasn't even raised like that. Think about that. I don't know where it come from. All I know is I made sure the people that I could reach out to that I thought would probably do it, I shared with them, don't do it. My kids, I made sure I told my son, everybody I know, I told them don't fall in that trap, because I'm telling you, your ass is gonna get caught. It is not worth it. And now look at all these people. Some of these people have already gotten caught and they doing Fed time. Like they bout their life. Baby, please. I'll be somewhere sliding down the wall talking about doing some Fed time. I can't do one day in a county jail and you talk about some Fed time? I'll be back. What? Baby, listen. Y'all got it. Because it's not that serious for me. I don't want nothing that comes that easy. If it ain't from God, I don't want it. And people was talking about it's a blessing. Baby, the devil make you think you get blessings. That stuff ain't no blessings. That shit was a setup. Now some people doing Fed time, they got to leave their kids, they got to leave their families, and you don't know how much stress and pressure your decisions have on your family. Like they don't even think about all that. Now I don't even understand it. It's not worth it. Poor people prison. Whoo, yes, Lord. Yvette, I'm with you, girl. Poor people prison. Quick, fast cash can get some people every time. And it will. It will. It's not worth it. Like it ain't that much putting on in the world. Like, yeah, they be doing all this stuff trying to prove a point to people that ain't got $10 in their bank account and don't give a damn about you. And you don't find out until you are in prison behind those walls. It's not worth it. I don't want it. And my husband was like, he said, man, I'm so glad I got you in my life, because if I didn't have you, I probably would be right in the midst of that shit, because everybody around, a lot of people around him and me was getting so much money. Baby, if it works for you, have at it. I want no parts of it. I don't want to be around nobody that's doing all that scamming and shit though. Don't put my name in the same sentence with nobody that's doing all that scamming, because I don't want nobody to think I got anything to do with it. Baby, listen. I don't want nobody come raid my house for shit. Okay? Quick come ups always come with the price. If it's not something that you worked hard for, it's gonna come with the price. It's either in that price, it's either gonna be your peace, and peace is like that's priceless. If I gotta look over my shoulder for the rest of my life to wonder when they coming, I don't want it, and I don't want nobody around me with it either at all. If it costs me my peace, it costs too much. I don't want to be around nobody that costs me my peace, and I definitely don't want to have any type of business transactions going on that's going to cost me my peace. Because look at this. Let's say that they got $1 million. Okay? They got $1 million. They live an extravagant life for about 1 or 2 years. Now what? You broke. You can't pay an attorney, so you get time in jail that you probably shouldn't have gotten, and now you got to pay it back. Make it make sense, please. You doing all this for a 1 to 2 year pleasure? Baby, no. No. That's not how life goes. Now you got to pay it back. So not only has your freedom been taken away, but now you got restitution for the rest of your life. Even if when you get out, after you pay your debt to society, you really still paying it when you get out. Because if you got fraud charges, you can't get no heart, baby. Ain't nobody gonna want to hire you. Let's just be real with that. Ain't nobody gonna want to hire you if you got fraud charges. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And anywhere you work, when you get out, you still got to take a portion of your hard-earned money and pay it to the government for restitution. And if you had a total loss of $1 million, you got to pay that $1 million back. So you're going to be paying restitution to the day you die for 2 years of pleasure. Who the fool? Yes, walk around paranoid. Like, child, I've been told on myself. See, that's why I don't do that. I ain't got no business doing, because I couldn't do it. I've been told on myself when the government released that voluntary disclosure program. So this is what happened. The government released a voluntary disclosure program for the people that got the PPP and the EIDL loan. Let's say that you got $1 million. With the ERC too, they did this for the ERC too. the government gave you the opportunity to give a portion of what you got to pay it back, I would have been one of them people. I would have been one of them people. Like, see, that's why I don't do nothing I ain't got no business doing. Some people were like, shit, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because what if they don't catch you? What if they do? That's why I'm going to stay in my little bubble and I'm going to make my legal money. I ain't got to be paranoid. I ain't got to be looking over my shoulders. I ain't got to wonder when they raiding my business, when they raiding my home. I ain't got to worry about leaving my kids. I don't have to worry about losing my career. Like some people that were on that PPP loan list, some people had some good ass jobs. What happens if they come back now? It ain't worth it. Okay, y'all, that's all I wanted to share with you all. This is what's happening. Over 500,000 people are now under investigation for the PPP loan and the EIDL loan. So if you received either one and you know it was fraud, please, you need to get an attorney to help you. If you receive a demand for payment notice in the mail, that means that you were sent to collections. You need to call somebody like me for assistance with that demand for payment notice. Please don't ignore it, because they're not going to stop. They're going to find out where you work and they're going to start garnishing your wages and freeze your bank account. So either way, you're going to have to pay it. It's not worth it. Okay, y'all have an amazing day. I hope this helped someone, and I hope this encourage others to do the right thing, like Spike Lee. Okay.